All right, welcome back to Real Cast Fishing. Your host, Glenn, with the City of Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And this round, what do I got for you? Well, we're talking some more fishing. Let's talk fishing. Apologize, we just kicked off an earlier live stream, and we had a little technical difficulties with some of the sound stuff, as well as being able to maintain the chat. So let me go ahead and kick off the chat room here. We're going to do a little impromptu Let's Talk Fishing, basically talking things fishing in general, and then maybe some specific questions that y'all might have. Let's do a little quick howdy, as well as I do have one where I need to answer the mail in particular. Specifically, I think a question that had come up earlier today about micro fly rods. I guess someone saw some of the posts that I put for several weeks or like months ago, I think, where I posted some stuff about the micro fly rod that I make with a Penn fishing rod. Penn fishing rod specifically being the Penn rod, not the Penn Penn fishing rods and reels, but Pen like a pen that you would write with. Okay. All right. So let's go right through the agenda that we'll go through, and then right at the tail end, I'll go and answer the mail specifically asking about the questions that came in on the micro fly rod. So let me grab my little agenda thing here. Okay, so this round I want to talk about the Blue River up in Oklahoma, as well as Turner Falls Park, which is also up in Oklahoma. We got the trout stocking season. It's going to be starting here shortly, specifically for some of us in the area here in North Texas, as well as in southeast, southern portions of the Oklahoma, where they'll be stocking some of the rivers as well. And then give you some updates on some of the pond fly fishing, as well as ultralight bait casting things that I've been doing. And then go into some updates on some recent happenings where we hit some of the local areas, specifically Grapevine Lake over there in Grapevine, Texas. That was a pretty cool place. I really liked that one. And then back to answering the mail specifically on the micro fly rod. Okay, so let's start out with the Blue River. Let's see, Blue River. Okay, so normally they stock the Blue River up in Oklahoma near Tishomingo, Oklahoma, about an hour, 45 minutes north of us here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. They normally stock it with some nice-sized trout once a week, starting from November into March of the following year. Unfortunately, because of, I think it was water or temperature conditions, they delayed the stocking till December. So right now, no trout stocking in the Blue River. However, you do have some opportunities if you go up the Lower Illinois River near Gore, Oklahoma, as well as Beavers Bend State Park over there at the Lower Mountain Fork. There's some great trout fishing opportunities. And additionally, starting this Friday, November 15th, they're going to be stocking Turner Falls Park up in Davis, Oklahoma. That's about 2 hours, 15 minutes away from here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, us being in the city of Allen, just north of Dallas. It's a simple day trip. Really like that place. Check out some of the videos I posted on the Turner Falls. It's the largest waterfall in the state of Oklahoma, about 70-foot waterfall. Last year they stocked it below the waterfall and actually fished a particular area they call the Blue Hole, where it's a popular swimming area. And, a lot of folks should have some good times there. Let's see. Hello, are you okay? Yep, I'm good to go. Okay, so big thing is Blue River's been delayed. However, you should be looking out for, I would say, follow the Blue River Public Hunting and Fishing Facebook page, and it gets you the latest update as to when they do start stocking the Blue River. Okay. The other thing is, let's see, Texas Parks and Wildlife here in the state of Texas, where I'm at. They did post the trout stocking schedule in Collin County in particular. I did confirm that we'll see a trout stocking over here down the road at Bethany Lakes. I believe it's December 5th is the trout stocking here. And then the rest of the stockings, there's like 4 other locations. They'll be, I'd say, I think it was the February-March time frame. Let's see. Let me just clear some of this. Okay. All right. Got some weird stuff there. Here we go. All right. All right. Good to go. Are you live somewhere else? I'm not sure what that means. I'm live in Texas. Okay. All right. Looking at some of the recent happenings, there's some videos. I've been posting mobile fishing live streams where I'm out and about fishing some of the ponds in our area. I shifted away from kayak fishing since it's starting to get cooler now, but have been hitting the ponds, be it pond fly fishing as well as some ultralight bait casting using the Shimano Corrado BFS XG along with that ultralight Shakespeare rod. That's been a very good one for me, as well as there's a couple of other light tackle gear that I've been using, specifically the Feather Flight or Flight Feather Kingfisher. That one's been a really good one also, because I can cast some trout magnets with it. Biggest fish I caught, 8-pound bass, freshwater, bigger ones in saltwater. It's the also, we did hit Lake Thunderbird this past weekend up in Oklahoma trying to get some more of those saugeye. And unfortunately, I think we had one on the line, but it came off. Did catch some white bass. Kind of a slow bite, kind of different. There were some cooler temps as well as some rain that kind of threw us. But hopefully we'll be hitting that location again because we hear saugeye are some pretty tasty fish and definitely want to see if we can do a little catch and cook with that one. Let's see. Other things, I did hit Grapevine Lake for the first time this year in the city of Grapevine, just down the road from us over here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Well known for its wine festival and whatnot. But on top of it, there is a pretty cool lake there that gives you good opportunity to catch some white bass as well as some other fishes over there at Grapevine Lake. It is a city-run lake. So some different rules apply. You do have to pay for parking, but once you do pay for parking, I believe it's good to go for the whole lake, at least for that day. But you can get an annual pass, right? And you do that at the little checkout station. They take credit and debit cards and whatnot. Going back to the blue, although they're not stocking trout yet, there is still a good opportunity to catch some smallmouth bass as well as some catfish in the river. I did see some posts earlier today about some folks going up there and doing a little scouting around, and the place is looking really nicely. Good water flow and whatnot because of local rains. So I anticipate if everything stays the same, come trout stocking time, should be a real good time to have some fun there. All right. The other thing is I had an earlier request. It was related to the micro fly rods. It's these micro fly rods that I make based on the Penn fishing rod, and I'll show you here real quick, but I just want to answer the mail specifically to these questions that were posed, so bear with me. Okay, I'll read the question. Let's see. Okay, found the rod and lure, looks similar to one that they found on AliExpress. Will the stock guides fit some fly lines? Okay, what we're talking about here with the fly lines, this is the, all right, right here. Okay, bear with me real quick. I got it right here. Okay, this is it. All right, this is, what it is a Penn fishing rod that I kept the reel seat, flipped it around, put a little cork thing on the bottom, put a little tennis grip tape on here, and it's a micro fly rod that collapses, telescopes, and when you extend it out, it's not very big at all. I'd say maybe less than 3 feet. I have caught some nice fish with it, and it's also the one that I used to keep in my backpack that I take to work, and this one's ready to go to do little fishing, you know, on the fly. The only thing is the guides that it came with are really small, so you have to kind of adjust the fly line. I use it's called the thin running section or running line of a 5 weight weight forward fly line that I like using. It was an old one. I just took the thin section. It's basically the back end that shoots out when you're casting your fly, and that's the portion that's actually on the rod itself. It doesn't hold much. I'd say maybe max 15 yards of line. So it's not meant to catch big fish or run long runs, but it's pretty fun one to make as well as one to use. All right. Talking about the stock guides, yeah, they're really thin or really small, and because of that, I went ahead and converted another one right here. Okay, so same thing. The only difference is instead of using the reel seat, I just use some zip ties. All right, nothing fancy. Tennis grip tape or whatnot that you use for tennis, for like tennis rackets and what. I took the old guides off right here and replaced them with some little snake guides that are normally used for your traditional fly rods. And with that, I can use a much heavier or wider, thicker diameter fly line. All right. Okay. You know, nothing fancy here. Very simple. This one works really well, and it also telescopes, so it collapses and makes for a nice little handy fishing thing that you can use on the fly. Okay, let's see what else. Let me check, make sure I got everything. Let's see, could I just get some cheap 2-weight stuff, and then I can just spool that on the rod, not change anything? Yeah, you could do that. The main thing is just make sure it's just thin enough that it can go through those rod guides. I've not had any problems casting it. In fact, what I'll do is I'll use maybe about a 10-foot section of the fly line, and then I'll put a Dacron backing at the end, sort of like a little running line, and I'm still able to cast it well past the running line section and into the spool itself to where it's empty. So these are castable. There's no drag. If you're gonna fight it, you can put your hand here or basically bring it in and whatnot, but there's no guide and whatnot or drag. But they do catch fish, and they're very handy. You can just keep them in your backpack and all that. All right. Okay. The other one that I have is, okay, it's basically the same reel setup. I reused the reel seat again using that tennis grip piece, and all I did was I repurposed the top 2 sections of a broken 8-weight fly rod. Okay, broke it when I stopped at McDonald's coming back from the local tail race dam fishing for some striped bass, and I knew something was wrong. Was when I went to go shut my door, I heard a cracking sound, and guess what? It was my 8-weight fly rod breaking. So I repurposed it, took the top 2 sections, and now I have a 2-piece micro fly rod. And this is one I've caught. I'd say I caught about a 2-3 pound catfish with it, no problem. It's a fun one as well. Okay, very simple build too. Repurposed the Penn fishing rod reel seat, repurposed the reel itself, and just little electrical tape here, some tennis grip tape here, just whatever, as long as it gave me something that I could put just my hand on, no problem. And yeah, I can cast this to the backing, no problem. All right. Okay, so that was hopefully answering the mail on the question about the micro fly rods. And so I got time right now. If you guys have any other questions or whatnot to bring up, else I'll just go run through the agenda items for those that just joined. Maybe that might perk up some questions that may have come up as I was talking about the micro fly rods. So from the agenda that I initially brought up at the beginning, we talked about the Blue River, its delay in the stocking. The Blue River is up in Oklahoma, Tishomingo, Oklahoma. We're located here in Allen, Texas, suburb of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And I'd say the Blue River is up in Oklahoma. It takes us about an hour, 45 minutes to get there, no problem. Easy day trip. fun time out there, and hey, it's got some nice camping as well. So if we decide to stay the whole weekend, it's not a big deal. Or if we just kind of want to do a little day trip, or we can come back and forth. But the delay now is won't get any trout stocking until December 1st. However, you do have Turner Falls up in Davis, Oklahoma. That's about 2 hours just past Ardmore, Oklahoma, up in Davis, Oklahoma. Coming from Oklahoma City, it's about an hour plus. Coming from here, it's about 2 hours plus. And there's some good trout to be had there when they start stocking, which is going to be this Friday, November 15th. They'll stock it. I'm not sure if they'll stock the upper portion of the river, or the Honey Creek is what it's called, or Honey Grove Creek, or if they're going to stock the the section below the waterfall. So what that is there's a 70-foot waterfall, largest waterfall in the state of Oklahoma, and in there sometimes they'll stock the river below the waterfall. Other times they'll stock the river above the waterfall. Depending on where they stock, it's going to be two different types of fishing. They stock above the waterfall, it's going to be more river fishing with your back cast clobbered, and that's one of the main reasons why I took up the one-head spade casting, as well as using the commando head, OPST commando head, Skagit heads that allow you to cast, switch cast, roll cast, no problem, without much room for a back cast. But they stock below the river, then you've got the, you got a lot more room for a back cast. Additionally, if they stock the blue hole again, which is a popular swimming area, swimming hole or whatnot, that looks like a big swimming pool in one, and you have a good opportunity to catch some fish there. I did some Euro nymphing, working the area right below the lifeguard platform, and that one worked out really well with that Euro nymph. I was using the Rio Shorty Euro nymphing leader setup, and what that is I take my leader off, and I'll do a loop-to-loop connection with this Rio Shorty, and lo and behold, I got myself a little Euro nymphing outfit. I use a 10-foot 3-weight fly rod that does double duty, easily handling the Euro nymphing style. And when you're fishing that one section below the little lifeguard platform, you're fishing a waterfall or run, and the water's moving about there, and you can just kind of hold your rod there and let your fly drift drag free through that section. So I really like that. Let's see, trout stockings here in Texas, they did post a schedule. Usually they'll stock up here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex before they start shifting more areas statewide. So our first stocking could be December 5th, I believe, here in Allen, Texas, over there at Bethany Lakes. And it's Bethany Lakes. There's 4 lakes or 4 ponds located in that park. It's going to be the main, they call it Pond C, but locals call it the Horseshoe Pond. It's the one that has a little pier-like section that has a horseshoe shaped, and is one of the deeper ponds in that park. And be looking forward to some fun fishing there come December 5th. Alrighty. Okay, other things, we were talking about some pond fly fishing, ultralight bait casting. Been working the different ponds and whatnot that we have in our local city here. Been having some good success on some bass and bluegill. I did notice one particular pond that was doing well, both with ultralight bait casting. I was using specifically the Rapala X-Wrap, the 2.5-inch ghost minnow version. It's a suspending bait, and it worked really well. Got a lot of strikes. Did get a lot of misses also, but the main thing with that one was when you're casting it out there, a lot of times if you just do that little twitch and you let it suspend and sit in the water, a lot of times I was getting a lot more strikes in that manner. Initially, when I did fish this one particular pond, Stony Hollow Park Pond, that one I learned that make sure you fish that lure all the way to the end of the retrieve, because I was getting some strikes just basically at my rod tip. in several cases where I'm bringing in the little Rapala X wrap, and bam, I'm getting a hit right there. I think I got it on video on occasion, or a couple of times here. So yeah, if do a little search, COAF Field Team on the channel, and do Stony Hollow, and you'll probably see that video. Did that about, I think, a couple of weeks ago. All right. Let's see. Anyone have any questions? Wide open right now. Got some time here. It's 10 local. Let's see. Oh, pond fly fishing. The other thing about the pond fly fishing, I did try several different flies. The woolly bugger, the near deer. Those are both that I like using for trout, but they do double duty with catching some bass and bluegill, no problem, in our local ponds. Additionally, I've been playing around with the damselfly. It's the two-plume marabou fly, very simple pattern that uses a bead chain eye, sort of like a clouser style setup, or tied similar to a clouser minnow, except you're just using a bead chain and then just a simple two-plume marabou plumes as your body material. And it's very simple, very simple. I think I've got a quick tie video on that out there. All right, and let's see. Did mention Grapevine Lake. It's the in Grapevine, Texas. It's run by the city. You do have to do some pay for parking and whatnot, but it looks like a very promising lake. I think next summer, or once things warm up again, I'll probably take the kayak out there and see what we can do, doing some fishing over there. Had a fun time doing some wade fishing from the shore. I noticed that they were wanting a fast retrieve, so I was casting it out there with the fly rod and just using the very fast, short pull but fast retrieve, and I was getting some good hookups there. And again, bringing the fly in close and making sure that I was fishing the whole retrieve. All right. All right. And then I did mention how I was just answering the mail concerning the micro fly rod. Okay. Let me see if I got any other items in the chat here. Okay. Let me just see. Howdy. Howdy. Okay. I will be doing another mobile fishing live stream. I will probably do it from my GoPro and then rebroadcast it on YouTube. I do have the setup to live stream from my Android phone. Works really well, and since I got my data plan back, I should be good to go, being able to do those on the fly again. But I do note that I'm not able to moderate the chat. I miss a lot of questions, so I'm finding that format has been working really well. So I'll go out, do a GoPro, use my GoPro to film it live, and then I just render it without any edits and repost it that evening. And I'm able to answer any questions that come up or moderate the chat, because hey, there's some craziness on some of these chats you got to be careful of. Alrighty. Okay, so with that, I think I answered the mail here, and let's see. I think there was another question that came in here. Let me grab it here real quick. Okay, there was one about the micro fly rod. There was another one about when we fished the Lower Illinois River up in Oklahoma. Question was, did we notice anyone catching any striped bass? Yes, we did. Did note one individual was catching them. They were undersized or smaller size striped bass. What was working for them was a rooster tail, little inline spinner rooster tail, I think in the 1/4 or 1/8 ounce size. I like using the inline spinner rooster tail in the 1/16 ounce, but that's because I'm doing a lot of bait finesse style fishing. So with the BFS gear, ultralight bait casting is what I call it. Okay. Let's see. I think that's everything that came in this week. Unless anyone has any new questions to throw at me, I think we're good to go this round. All right. Let me check one more thing. in case anything popped up while we're here. Okay. Bear with me. I just got to check one more thing. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. All right. I think I was able to answer the mail, and I'll give you a quick update. All right. All right. All for now. The next time, we'll catch you later, and good luck and good fishing.